Britain's former ambassador to the United States, Peter Mandelson, has been released from police custody after being arrested on suspicion of misconduct in public office. The 72-year-old was fired from his post in September after the full scope of his relationship with convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein emerged. For more on this story, we can bring in our international affairs editor, Philip Turle. Philip, great to see you. Was Mandelson's arrest a shocker?
Yes, I think for many it was, but for Peter Mandelson himself, I don't think he was particularly surprised that he was arrested yesterday afternoon, just a few days after former Prince Andrew Mountbatten Windsor, was also arrested on similar charges, that's to say misconduct in public office. Now, the charges against Peter Mandelson are pretty grave charges. One, that an internal government report from the UK discussing ways Britain could raise money after the 2008 global financial crisis, including by selling off government assets, was handed over to Jeffrey Epstein, the financier and pedo-criminal in the United States. The second one, it appears that Peter Mandelson told Epstein he would lobby other members of the government to reduce a tax on bankers' bonuses in favour of Jeffrey Epstein. And the third one is that he's reported to have tipped off Jeffrey Epstein about a €500 billion bailout for the European Union before that was officially announced. So these are pretty grave charges against Peter Mandelson, similar to the ones that the former Prince Andrew is also facing about handing over information about precious metals and minerals in Afghanistan, and also information about his business trips to Hong Kong, China, Vietnam and Singapore. So that's why the two men have been arrested. The police are trying to find out as much information as they possibly can about what happened. Emails, there is an inquiry with the government. There is an inquiry as far as Andrew Mountbatten Windsor is concerned with the royal family. This is a very long, ongoing process. But there has been some movement in the way the government and the royal family are handling this. First of all, the royal family has said that it will comply with all the investigations taking place and will be not there to try to hinder any police investigation into the former Prince Andrew. And the government has said it's going to release information about how Peter Mandelson was nominated to the post of ambassador to the United States by the UK government in December 2024, at a time when Keir Starmer, the Prime Minister, already knew about his contacts with Peter Mandelson.
Given that the British justice system is doing its thing, Philip, has pressure, do you think, eased on the Prime Minister and those calls for him to step down?
Not really. I think Keir Starmer is under tremendous pressure right now. He has made some unpopular decisions since he became Prime Minister of the United Kingdom back in 2024. And I think that he is feeling the pressure. He's unpopular when it comes down to the opinion polls. Over 60% of British people have an unfavourable opinion of him. Only 18% think that he's doing a good job. So all of these obstacles caused by Peter Mandelson on one side and former Prince Andrew on the other are doing nothing to make his ride any easier, especially when it comes to Peter Mandelson, because many questions are being asked about accountability, about transparency. They want to know why he was nominated by Keir Starmer, what was the relationship that he had with Peter Mandelson, why he gave him this job when it was known that Mandelson had contacts with Jeffrey Epstein. The reply from Keir Starmer is that, well, Peter Mandelson lied to me. He didn't tell me the extent to which he was friendly with Jeffrey Epstein. We didn't know that he was calling Jeffrey Epstein his best pal, and that was why he got the job. But Keir Starmer has lost two of his closest advisors over this case, notably Morgan McSweeney, who was his director at number 10 Downing Street, who's now gone. So the firewall of protection around the British Prime Minister has more or less disappeared, which means that he's now in the firing line. And I think there is a lot of pressure on him to release as much information as he possibly can so that the inquiry can go ahead. But it doesn't mean that Keir Starmer is out of the woods. The only positive thing for the British Prime Minister is that there is no direct challenge to his leadership from within the Labour Party right now, coming from any particular person. I don't think anybody really wants to take his place at the moment. They're sort of thinking it'd be better off if Keir Starmer remained Prime Minister for the time being. But there are two important hurdles that he's going to have to overcome. One of them is a local election this week in Denton, where the Labour Party is expected to do badly. That was a Labour seat. And also we have local elections coming up in the UK in May, where the Labour Party is also expected to do not well. And that may, in fact, be the time when the pressure is so great on Keir Starmer that he stands down and there could be a leadership challenge and someone else taking over the role of Prime Minister. But for the moment, he appears to be pretty much okay in his position of Prime Minister. But a lot of explaining has to be done about how he managed to name Peter Mandelson ambassador to the United States without knowing exactly what his relationship was with Jeffrey Epstein when that nomination took place.
We'll see how the story continues to shape up. Philip, thank you very much for that. Philip Turle there.